podcast. I'm Dhendy and today I will be your host who will accompany you for the next few minutes. And today we will discuss about novel. Talking about novel, there must be many from you who like reading novels. Who don't like reading novels, right? Especially novels about romantic love stories, adventures, and so on and so on. Are you curious about who the guest stars are? So, for you lovers of novels, don't go anywhere because we will discuss in more detail about the novel. And today I'm not alone. I will be accompanied by several special guests who are sure they will not be boring. And here, already with me, an old friend of mine, Emmanuel Eriai. Let me be more familiar, I just call him Nuel. So, hello Noel, how are you today?
Hi, I'm fine. It's good to see you. Thank you for inviting me.
Good to see you too, my friend. Oh, you're welcome. So guys, as far as I know, Noel is a nerd because almost every day he spends his time to reading books. And that's the reason I invite him to come and talking about novel with us. So this time we will discuss a novel from Roald Dahl entitled Matilda. We will further discuss it with my friend Nuel. Okay, let we start the business. Talking about Matilda, what is the most memorable or what makes this novel different from other novels?
Well, the most memorable or what I had in mind when talking about Matilda was a little girl who was willing to read books by herself at the age of 3 years and who was super smart, especially mathematics, compared to the other children that same age with her, and who also had super magical powers that can move objects without touching but just thinking an object and it can be moved.
Oh, so do you think the story of Matilda is good or not read by the children?
I think this novel is very good for all people because this novel teaches us about many things. I really like the way Dahl conveyed his message in this novel and how to develop this story. The storyline is also very cool. He wants to convey to parents to also pay attention to their children, especially during childhood, to give love so children do not feel alone, and also always lead them to a good path like reading books and other good things.
Oh, so it's not meant to be for children, but this is a message delivered by Roald to every parent how important it is to pay attention to children's childhood. Okay, so and can you give me your opinion? What are the themes used in this novel?
As far as I read, here I have a few themes in my opinion. The first is control and agency. One of the most frustrating things for children growing up is the feeling that they have no control over their own lives, that they cannot determine things for themselves. For Matilda, this feeling is especially prevalent because she feels imprisoned by her neglectful parents. By playing tricks on her family and Miss Trunchbull, Matilda gains some agency and can outsmart the people that try to control her. Miss Honey has a similar experience. She has been controlled by Aunt Trunchbull her whole life and has fought for the change to escape and determine her own life, which she is finally able to by the end of the book. And the second theme that I think is reward versus punishment. While Miss Transfer and Miss Honey's sharply contrasting ways to teaching send a message about the most effective way to ensure that students learn. Not only are Miss Honey's compassionate patient methods more successful, they also earn her the respect and admiration of her students. Miss Transfer, however, only managed to earn their fear clearly when working with children. The reward is more effective than punishment, just like love is stronger than hate. And the third theme that I think is greed. Miss Transvaal embodies the concept of greed throughout the book. There are no limits as to what she would do to gain power, money, and respect. She always wants more and more. Indeed, she stole Miss Honey's rightful assets and forced her to leave her own house.
I have read this novel several times until the end, but I also cannot hit the theme. I think God is indeed fair to remit us after all time. It turns out that He has a purpose so that I can learn more from you.
That's not right, boy.
Okay, then if that's the case, can you tell me what moral message can we get from this story?
I think there are a lot of implicit elements that the author wants to convey. If you look at Matilda's life, she is very unhappy because of her lack of attention from her parents. She is often underestimated and scolded, even though she is still small, and that is so bad. Nothing can make you happy except a book that she reads. Now with this, what the author wants to convey is parents to have to pay attention to the child's development well, both in terms of physical and psychological health.
After I read, there is a part that I really like in Matilda's story. That is when Matilda used her intelligence to treat her parents as a way to get her parents' attention again. What do you think about that?
Yes, that is very funny. When I read the part, I laughed to myself. I just wonder why I can laugh alone when reading that part. A child bullies his parents without anyone knowing. It feels like her parents are very stupid.
Oh, so that means Matilda is great. She seems to be there and make fun of you, huh? Well, after this we will have someone who knows more about the world of novels. And he has also reviewed many books including Matilda. So it will definitely be deeper and more exciting in our following conversation. Do not let you miss it. So don't go anywhere. We will come back after the following message. Okay, welcome back and thank you for being with us. And now I have one guy, last guy. He is a nerd too and has reviewed books many times, including Matilda. So we can find out more deeply about Matilda. And please welcome Mr. Reinald Aton. Hi Mr. Reinald Aton, welcome to our podcast and thank you for coming here.
Yeah, thank you for your invitation.
You're welcome, sir. Don't worry, that is my job. Emmanuel and I, we just talked about a novel, and what I know is that you also reviewed the novel. We talked about Matilda. This conversation is not incomplete if you don't not share your opinion, sir. Okay, sir. And now we just go to straight the next question. Can you give us a little picture of the physical doll related to this Matilda?
Yes, of course. Let's look at Ronald Dahl's life and how it relates to Matilda, because most writers write from their life experiences. So, at the age of 9 years, his family had a problem. So his mother sent him to boarding school in St. Peter at Weston-super-Mare. His parents went to Dhal to be educated in public school in England, and tucking into account the interpretation of connection, ships operating regularly on the Bristol Canal, St. Peter's School was the closest choice. Well, in his days he attended St. Peter was a very unpleasant time for Roald. He missed his home and the love of his parents, and wrote to his mother every week, but in his letters he never expressed his sadness. In fact, he was so homesick for his home, he once pretended to have appendicitis to return home. When his mother passed away, Roald learned that each piece of his letters was kept by his mother in a scroll tied to a green ribbon. These saved letters later became Roald Dahl's collection of documentation from his childhood until he became a rough pilot. From this background of life, Dahl actually wants to convey the readers that a childhood without parental love is a very unpleasant thing. He wants parents to never stop giving love to children.
Wow, amazing! According to Mr. Reinald, how this novel developed?
Of course, this book managed to make me fall in love from the first page to the last. Not only is Roald Dahl's way of the story easy to follow, light language and interesting plot, but also a lot of moral values that can be contemplated. Smart humor scattered in this book is also not less interesting. No wonder this book won the Children's Book Award in 1988 and 1999. This novel can actually be read by all ages. Really recommend it anyway. I am accustomed to registering quality old school books that are still relevant from time to time, and this is one of the list in my opinion. Although it can be read by all ages, the language is a bit more complicated for minors.
Oh, okay. Then kids can also read this book. But in this novel, not all words can be understood by children, right? So, how do you respond about this? If it's easier to understand, can you give a little commentary about the sentence that contains the figurative meaning in the novel?
Yeah, of course. If we review it well, certain sentences might be difficult to understand, such as this example, Miss Trunchbull never walked. She always marched like a stormtrooper with long striders and arms. It's on chapter 7, page 51. Dahl spends a lot of time describing Miss Trunchbull, allowing readers to get a clear picture of this terrible woman in their minds. The smell of Miss Trunchbull as a stormtrooper makes it clear how alert, and intelligent she is, three qualities that are central to her character and that will come into play repeatedly during the story. And the second, when at last the germ of a brilliant idea hit her, she began to expand on it and lay her plans with the same kind of care the Duke of Wellington had done before the Battle of Waterloo. It's on chapter 12, page 110. And the third is, as Lavender crafted her plan to put a nail in the Trunchbull's water glass, Dahl compares her actions to the Duke of Wellington, commanding a famous battle. This comparison raises the stakes, making sure readers take Lavender's efforts seriously. It also continues the metaphor of a full-blown war between the children and Miss Trunchbull, complete with battles and soldiers and weapons. And we still have another example. Okay, we have the last question for both of you. In your opinion, what are the differences that you've seen in this novel? What I mean is the juxtaposition. I wonder who wants to answer first, Mr. Reinald or you or Nuel? Let us be more polite. We start from the old first, yeah. Then the Reinald is the first. You have the first chance.
Yeah, okay.
Please, sir.
Oh, juxtaposition, yeah? I found a few, like the characters of Miss Honey and Miss Wormwood. Miss Honey has a caring nature for Matilda, but Miss Wormwood, who is Matilda's mother, has no concern for Matilda, but prefers to pay attention to beauty.
How about you, Noel? What you found? Well, I found the different character between Matilda and her parents. Matilda is the good person and who are very polite to the other person, and her parents is not really good.
Okay guys, before ending our meeting today, I have prepared a few small gifts for you. Although the price is not much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but there is a condition to get it. The condition is that you have to answer a few questions that I prepared for you. That's like a quiz.
So, what's the price?
I'm sorry, sir, but the price cannot be told yet. You must answer the question first. Okay, let's begin. We start from the first question. Let's start. Number 1. In what year was the film version of Matilda released?
At 1996.
Okay, Mr. Reinald, so he gave his answer. And how about you, Emmanuel?
Well, I guess I don't know in what year.
Okay, next, the second question. What is the name of Miss Honey's father? The answer will start from Mr. Nuel.
The name of Miss Honey's father is Magnus.
Okay, the question is answered. How about you, Mr. Reinald?
Maybe his name is Anis?
I'm sorry, sir, but your answer is wrong.
Oh, come on.
The right answer is Mr. Nuel. The last question is what the name of Ronald Dahl school? And the last chance is give to Mr. Reinald. You must answer the last question for the first time.
The name of the school is St. Peter.
Yup, and you got the right answer, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Well, now we have a winner. So the winner for this quiz is Mr. Reinald Aton. Okay, and now I will give the grand prize for you after this. Okay, well guys, this is our last discussion about Matilda. And thank you for coming here. I hope we can talk. Thanks again for everything. See you again next time.
Goodbye.